seated now. Our service is about to begin. We ask that you please silence your cell phones. Thank you. I apologize for the late start, but one of our presenters is caught in traffic and is still on her way.
And the dog ate my homework.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of the South Jersey Shore, a welcoming and inclusive faith community. We'd like to welcome any guests we have today. Thank you for taking a chance to join us for worship. We welcome those watching virtually today, and we welcome your comments online. We also welcome our guest artists and all who love to create. My name is Marcia Hanna, and I'm your worship associate for today. I'm a member of this congregation and currently serve on the nominating committee and as the coordinator for the spirituality group. Our worship service today is led by Gina Roche, a professional vocalist, composer, UUC SJS music director, and her most beloved position of mom and partner to John Rosenberg. Gina is a delight for this Sunday with the arts and invites us all to please welcome our guest artists, Heather Deegan Hires, Chrisp Seels, Kim Trotto, and guest musicians John Rosenberg and Cynthia Grzywinski. Video of today's service will be available on the YouTube channel later today. If you care to tweet during today's service, you can use the hashtag UUCSJS.
Sorry, we're doing a double song. No, that's all right. I forgot to send you the memo last time. So if you know this song, please sing along. I would like you to try the tick tock tick do do do. Okay, you got it? Tick tock tick do do do. Do Time keeps on slipping, slipping, slipping into the future. Time keeps on slipping, slipping, slipping into the future. I wanna fly like an eagle to the sea, sing on, fly like an eagle, let my spirit carry me. I want to fly like an eagle till I'm free, fly right through the revolution. Feed the baby, we don't have enough to eat, shoot the children with no shoes on their feet. How's the people living in the street? Oh, oh, there's a solution. I want to fly like an eagle to the sea. Fly like an eagle, let my spirit carry me. I want to fly like an eagle till I'm free. Fly back through the revolution.
Okay, welcome into this place of healing. Welcome into this place of challenge and growth. Welcome into this place of imperfection and aspiration. You are whole. You are holy. You are wholly loved. Our chalice lighter today is Karen Amaranto. Today's chalice lighting words are element of fire, represents passion, veracity, authenticity, and vitality by Sarah Lambert. The element of fire represents passion, veracity, authenticity, and vitality. If the chalice is the supporting structure of Unitarian Universalism, then we are the flame. We are the flame, fanned stronger by our passion for freedom, our yearning for truth telling, our daring to be authentic with one another, and the vitality we sustain in our meeting together. In all of this, there is love. Our gathering hymn today is Joy in Abundance, and we ask you to please remain seated as we will Om together 4 times. As we prepare our gathering hymn, please rise in body or spirit.
Thank you very much. So we're going to Om 4 times, and then we're going to go into a song that is a traditional song called Shalom to You that I changed the lyrics up to, and the lyrics are in your pamphlet there, and the words are joy in abundance, I wish for you. We all are worthy to live with joy, it's true. Focus on your blessings, good thoughts and feelings. Joy will come to you, abundant joy to you. First, we start with our Om. Here we go. live with joy, it's true. Focus on your blessings, good thoughts and feelings. Joy will come to you, abundant joy for you. Joy in abundance, I wish for you. We are worthy to live with joy, it's true. Focus on your blessings, good thoughts and feelings will come to you. But joy for you, joy will come to you. But joy for you, joy will come to you. But joy for you. And now I get to do an introduction. At this time, I would like to introduce Kim Trotto, a retired journalist. She has 2 creative outlets. She sketches and writes fiction, mostly short stories, and has a self-published teenage romance adventure, Goodlands, and her short stories have been published in the webzines Frontier Tales, Athlon, and I should have practiced these big words, Defenestration, and in the print magazines, Luna Station, and More Challenges for the Delusional. Please welcome Kim Trotto. Kim, you're going to explain the flash fiction for us, right? Okay.
I am.
Beautiful.
Thank you, everybody. Flash fiction, my favorite new genre, differs from regular short stories in one primary way. A flash fiction story is generally expected not to exceed 1,000 words, about a page and a half. Regular short stories, on the other hand, usually run from 3,500 words to 10,000 words. In almost every other way, it's the same as any short story. That is, it must have a specific beginning and end, and must provide some development of its characters, and must have a plot. Like other short stories, and unlike novels, the protagonist's dilemma does not necessarily have to be resolved. I find writing flash fiction helps all my writing because it forces me to discard a lot of extraneous words and phrases that only extract from the story. First, I'm going to read one that's one of the rare stories, not science fiction, that I write. For Carmel. My neighbor stands outside at the end of her sidewalk. I can't see her face, but know it must be tight with worry. Carlos isn't home yet. What do you think of this? It's Bill at his drawing board behind me. He holds up a line drawing of a muscle-bound man in a loincloth standing on a tree limb near where it joins the rest of the tree. At the end of the branch, a woman in a bikini sits scowling. See, says Bill. He's got a foot out, starting to walk toward her. I'm calling it Tarzan goes out on a limb for Jane. I make a face. Bill draws silly stuff like this when he's got artist luck, as he calls it. No good ideas for this week's comic strip. All right, I say, not very funny. Bill grins. He could leave the strip to Grant, his assistant, and retire, maybe take up golf. But comic strip artists die on the job, Bill says. What's going on, Meg? Why are you looking out the window? I walk back to him. It's Carmel. She's standing out there in the cold. Why? I shrug. I think I know what's wrong. A young man, Carlos, arrived at her house 2 weeks ago. He came in the back of the van Rick's Furniture uses to pick up men who work for low wages and don't talk about it. He's Carmel's younger brother, and I don't think he's legal. This neighborhood has always been for people of modest income and immigrants Now it's mostly Hispanic and mostly untroubled. The streets are still tree-lined, the houses quaint. Most families here earn their bread taking care of other people's children, cleaning the bathrooms, or pulling weeds from their gardens. Bill and I still live here because we love our book-cluttered house, our pepper tree, and having interesting neighbors. It's the kid, her brother, right? Yeah, her brother, I say. I think I'll go talk to her. Bill is sympathetic, but he's also practical. Okay, but remember, we're the minority here. The old couple on the block and the only Anglos. God doesn't even speak English. You forget, I speak Spanish. And how long ago was your high school Spanish class? I sigh, a small sigh, but it's there. Bill's chair squeaks as he turns back to the desk. Hey, think I got something, he says, picking up his pencil. I nod and walk toward the hall closet for my jacket. Outside, it's even colder than I thought. Carmel watches me cross the strip of dead yellow grass between our sidewalks. She's maybe 40, our daughter's age. How extraordinary to see her as a child. Senora Roy, she says, is it Carlos? See, he go to work today, and then he called me. The immigration they come for the men.
Kim, talk on the microphone, I can't hear you.
See, he go to work today, and then he called me. The immigration, they come for the men, and Rick sent him to hide. If they catch him, he go to jail, and he never get his green card. Come, let's go inside. I'll make coffee. They don't call me again. I think maybe you get caught. This baby boy in Tijuana. I put an arm around her shoulders, and Carmel lets me guide her through her front door and into her kitchen. While I make coffee, she stares down at the table. I am the one. I tell Carlos, come to my house. I take care of you, and you get work. What can I say? Yes, Bill and I are sympathetic, but crossing illegally is against the law. We've seen immigration come for people here. We cared, of course, but felt helpless. And it wasn't really our problem. We were born there. I stare at the coffee pot, feeling too old for confrontation. I should go home, bring up Bill's new strip, and get ready for bed. Carmel isn't my daughter. She's a grown woman whose problems I can't possibly solve. But this is Carmel, one of my interesting neighbors, and we've done more than discuss the weather. Bill and I have shared meals with her. He's made her laugh. When I put the cup in front of her, I nod. We'll do something, if we can. Bill knows people. Now it's me going out on a limb, but I've got to drag Carmel back, away from its narrow, brittle tip. Gracias, May, she says and starts to cry. Later, Carlos comes home safe. Carmel calls to let me know, thanks me for sitting with her for a while. I tell her not to worry, that I'll talk to Bill in the morning, see what we can do. Because though Carlos came home this time, there will always be another raid. In bed, next to me, Bill breathes in and out in a comfortable rumble. Outside, the wind plays squeaky music in the branches of our pepper tree. I think about its thick limbs, how strong they seem, and how fragile they can be. Thank you.
Thank you, Kim.
And the second story, and apologize for the accent and the Australian season. Hullabaloo. Guess what I got in my pocket, and I'll give it to you. What? I stare at the kangaroo. Now it'll be one thing, but surely you won't give me your Joey. The creature rolled her eyes. She must see me as simple-minded like the males of her own species, built for fighting over females, not much else. You think all I do is mind the baby, she said. Well, I've been department head here for 7 years. And before that, I ran a sheep station. Oh, I knew that, of course. Kangaroo staff eliminates the need for expensive robots in contaminated territories. They're even cheaper than humans. Look, I said, I'm just here to match up toxin samples against our needs. Another plague, alien this time. We'll get to Australia eventually, and we need to be ready. The kangaroo slid from her chair and dragged herself to the cabinet using her front paws. I'd been redesigned to give her opposable thumbs, but that made it harder for her to move like a kangaroo. She took down a tray of petri dishes and pushed them across the counter, all were capped and labelled. I ran a finger over the labels. Nothing here. Is this it, Marla? The Roo tilted her head her way of shrugging. Connecting's hard this time of year. The heat keeps the bugs under, and I don't have enough cave birds with toxin immunities. I didn't believe her, nor about the difficulty of collecting poisons during that big heat. But what she was showing me, insect toxins that might resolve an altered virus are worth money. Lots. Marla may not have many desires, but she certainly has some. Right. You want me to play guessing games? You've got more samples in your pouch. No, try again. Bleeding animal, I thought. Well, I never say it, who's can be touchy, and Marla's a good bit stronger than me. Okay, let me think. I stared at the pouch. Nothing moving there, so not a Joey unless I was asleep. Dead. Well, I considered Marla that she formed almost human hands and ran the saliva along her ears. God, I hate working with these creatures. It's a bit of fluffy she was carrying around. No, it was like talking to a kid. Come on, Marla, give us a break. Marla's furry hand pressed her jaw, a human gesture, like it distrusted me. Why'd they send you, Simon? She asked. You'll know, you lover. We don't work well together. She had me there. What do you want from me? I didn't grow up talking to Roos. You'd be in a zoo in my world. Well, she said, at least we both know where we stand. Now, what's in my pouch? I don't know, the last living koala? Marla chucked. Not bloody likely. I can make things hard for you, I told her. In fact, I could limit certain people in animal management, but it wouldn't do me much good. If I got rid of her, they'd bring in another kangaroo. And they're all the same. Her long lashes came down. How'd you say? Well, nothing's easy. I got a Joey using the clank for fighting. Another one wants upgrading, but there's no money for that unless she's needed to work somewhere. And she ain't because she's got no upgrading. Now it's getting somewhere. She did need money, and there were better toxin trays in the lab somewhere. I've been hoping for confession and hadn't expected one so soon. The kangaroo scratched at the fur on the right side. I got the two Joeys to do for so we found a possible cure, and you were selling it to the bleeding Americans. They'll need it sooner, Marla said. But you're wrong, Simon. My people won't get sick, but they are all sick. That's why I hope it gets I had a gun. Or I really would have given it to you. She pulled it from the pouch. Lucky for me, Marla was a rude. The law says we can't own legal guns, and she didn't have the wig for an illegal one. Still, I skipped a few heartbeats before I realized it was a toy. I reached across the floor, tiles, and took it from her. 2 days later, my people found her in the sample tray. Marla's not a bad sort as Roos go. I felt a bit sad to see her sent back to the bush, beyond the fence. Oh, I mean, what will a talking kangaroo with opposable thumbs do out there?
I have been very interested. Thank you, Kim, so much. I've been interested in a very long time in Thich Nhat Hanh's teachings, and I've been inspired by this particular one very much. And I use it all the time. Anybody that knows me talks about, when I talk about growing my lettuce, you know, who knows when creativity starts in your life, right? So I'm going to read this little excerpt from Thich Nhat Hanh himself. One day in New York City, a Buddhist scholar and Thich Nhat Hanh were talking. Thich said, I told her about my practice of mindfulness in the vegetable garden. I enjoy growing lettuce, tomatoes, and other vegetables, and I like to spend gardening every day. And the scholar said to him, you shouldn't spend your time growing vegetables. You should spend more time writing your poems. Your poems are so beautiful. Everyone can grow lettuce, but not everyone can write poems like you. And Thich Nhat Hanh told her, if I don't grow my lettuce, I can't write my poems. When I'm taking care of the lettuce or watering my garden, I don't think of poetry or writing. I focus my mind entirely on taking care of the lettuce, watering the vegetables, and so on. I enjoy every moment, and I do it in a mode of non-thinking. It's very helpful to stop the thinking. Your art is conceived in the depths of your consciousness while you're not thinking about it. The moment when you express, it is only the moment of the birth, the moment you deliver the baby. For me, there must be moments when you allow the child inside you to grow. So you can do your best, and your masterpiece can contain insight, understanding, and compassion. So if I don't have many gigs and people say, hey Gina, what are you doing? A lot of times I'll say, I'm growing my lettuce, man. So I share that with you. Thank you to Thich Nhat Hanh. And so one of the songs that came from growing my lettuce, I'm going to play for you now. And the song is called Breathe. I haven't recorded this one yet. And many of you have heard this before, and I have to say it again because this song came about when my shoulders were up around my ears and I was all stressed out and my dad was dying, and I just wanted to be there for him in any way that I could. And I found myself shallow breathing, and this song came through from growing that lettuce. So here you go. How come I'm not hearing it? Can I turn it off? Nope. The batteries. Let me try. Can you hear it now? Yay! Technical difficulties. Just smile through it. Okay, here's the song. Breathe when you're scared. Breathe when you're scared. Breathe when it all gets too much. Breathe. Breathe in. Breathe out. Let go of the things that don't serve you. Quiet your mind. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe. Deep listening, deep listening. You can hear your innermost longing calling you. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe. Breathe in your joy. Breathe in your joy. Breathe in the beauty inside and around you. Breathe in. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Just be here, right now. Breathe out. Just breathe.
Thank you, Kim and Gina. The worship hour is a time for people to connect and let others know what is on their mind. A book is provided in the foyer for which you are invited to write whatever joys and sorrows you have as you enter. I will now read what you would share. For Anderly Violin, part of Ukraine's Project 200, they take the soldiers home to their loved ones. Project 200, because that is what a casket in a body weighs, 200 kilograms. And for my friend Darlene, that she heals and comes back with me to church. Anonymous. We wish, Paul and Helen wrote, we wish Colby a very happy birthday tomorrow. We love you. We're glad you found your way here this morning. May our time together renew our hope. May the stories we share refresh our courage. May the songs we sing lift our spirits. May the words we speak invigorate us. May the touch of hands, the sound of laughter, the sight of faces new and familiar restore us in faith. I now invite you to come forward silently and place a stone representing your joys or concerns in the water on either side of the chalice.
The moment has come for me to introduce a dear, dear friend of mine. And her name is L'Oreal Vintage, L'Oreal Vintage Chrisp Seels. She's a woman of many names. Can you? Yeah, because L'Oreal does not need the stool to get on the microphone. So, And so I'm going to introduce her. This is activist, flow poet, journalist, singer, spoken word artist. That's how we met. Youth motivator and advocate and family liaison from South Jersey with a love for words. L'Oreal is a passionate poet and a social butterfly, longing to prove to the world that love is a powerful thing. Share it, breathe it, exhale it, paint it, sing it, dance it, live it, love. Be yourself and love you, because after all, there is only one you. Let's hear it for my friend L'Oreal.
I have to forgive my limp here. I got hurt on the job. So.
But I would hug for
tore up my knee.
Why?
Gina Roche.
I think they'll hear you just fine, but just
I'm very humble. I don't brag and boast. I'm here, just a vessel. So this is enlightening. This is refreshing. I don't think we get an opportunity now, since all has transpired in the pandemic. By the way, excuse me, Brother John. I love you, sir. I love you. I don't think we get an opportunity now, with all the fears and the panic that the world has thrust upon us, to actually enjoy and live and breathe. Thank you for the song, because, like I said, I'm very enlightened, inspired. Heather Deegan, my gosh, I'm excited to be here. So I'm grateful that you opened your doors for me this morning. I think it not robbery to share whatever God has placed on my heart. And I'm just a lover of life and people. So when you see me, you know that I'm smiling, because I'm just happy to see you. Literally. You know what I mean? I'm just happy to see you. I'm overwhelmed by this, because we don't see this anymore. Since, like I said, the pandemic, and it's nice to be able to reach out and touch. So
from this podium to your seats, to your hearts. I'm hopeful that you will reach out and be touched. If you would like to find me, you can look me up on Facebook, L'Oreal El Vintage Chrisp. I have a fan page at El Vintage, that's ELLEVINTAGE. You can find me on Instagram, whatever, SoundCloud, whatever. I do have books today. If you would like to purchase a book, I have 2 copies, Her Path After Her Pain, both this, Her Path After Her Pain, and My Life in a Mess actually speaks of my testimony, a portion of it anyway. And I share it because I believe the world needs love and healing. So, talk to me. Okay? If you're blessed, if you're touched, we'll work something out. You are my strength, strength like no other, strength like no other. It reaches to me. You are my strength, strength like no other, strength like no other. It reaches to me in the fullness of your grace, in the power of your name. You lift me up, you lift me up in the fullness of your grace, in the power of your name. You lift me up, you lift me up. You are my strength, strength like no other, strength like no other. It reaches me down in the girth where my soul resides at your altar. I've asked you to turn me over and turn me over at your altar so that you could never not go in there without hearing my voice. Your call, your beckoning, your love that sets still on my brow in the morning time when I wake up and reach out for your grace and your mercy. It reminds me why I'm here, the word, my birthright, why I'm born and present in this very present world to teach little old people such as myself and them how much love they're really worth it, how much song they're really worth. How in the stillness even of the night and the evening when they go down on their kneebone station and the dew sets in the evening time, how they're worthy of the song that they have down in the core pits of their body, their embodiment, the vessel that they allow themselves to be when they resonate down here on your altar call, when you call out their name, when you whisper their name, when you call them daughters and sons of Zion, when you call them brother and sister, and when you tell them I'm your father, but you're really my sister, and when you tell them how much I appreciate the little blue in your eyes and the gray streaks down on the side of your hair, even when your tears drop down here, I want you to know that they don't go falling for void. They don't go down for the naught. I'm telling you that every cry, every call, every time you hear my voice, I'm reaching back out to you because I hear your call. You're deserving of an ear. You're deserving of a hug. You're deserving of real love. How the cocoon come out of the caterpillar and the caterpillar flies out of the butterfly. How they metamorphosize in the world so that the world can understand that nature folds around them and creates something greater. I want you to know you are my strength. Strength like no other. Cause he's your strength. Strength like no other. When he reaches down and grabs little old people such as yourselves, you've seen it and you've seen it. It's almost like Godzilla standing at the top of the tower, going to pick out his love in the midst of the power-stricken world that doesn't deserve her embodiment, but he knows that I got to get her, because if I just put her on my back, things will be okay. So I climb to the top of the clock tower just so I can clock her every moment, so she knows that she's not walking alone, but she's walking with me. I'm carrying her footprints. I'm carrying her footprints in the sand where you thought that you were walking by yourself, and he teaches you that you're not alone, and he teaches you that you're not alone, and he teaches you that you're not alone. So no matter what the grid says, or the grizzly bears, or the hyenas, or the snakes and the serpents that come and try to prick at you, bite at you, poison your mind, tell you that you're no longer worth it when he's telling you you're mine. I want you to know you are my strength. Strength like no other. Strength like no other. It reaches to me. You are my strength. Strength like no other. Strength like no other. It reaches to me. Amen. I'm just a love baby. I don't know what era I was born in. I guess my mama got the right job, but she got me because I don't know what's going on. Can't talk for others, though. I love to be able to be used as a vessel to encourage people. I think we've seen enough of discouragement. Wouldn't you agree? Yes. Oh, yeah. We've seen enough. So we deserve to be free and to smile and to enjoy just the little things, very simplistically. So this next one is going to be brief, but what the world needs now is love, sweet love. It's the only thing. There's just too little love. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. It's the only thing that drops in my mind in the morning time. When I put a little cube of sugar in my coffee and I know it's a little bit sweeter on the inside and it cooks down on my outside so that I can get energy to love you on the outside. What the world needs now is growth. It's love. It's turning over in the midnight hour and understanding that I'm truly loved. It makes you feel oozy on the inside. Makes your feet chuck and churn on the outside. Jackie Wilson called it shaking down in my boots. Chuck Berry said he's doing a little twist, but that meant that he was loving you to give you some rhythm to move to so that you didn't have to be stiff when you woke up in the morning time. That coffee, that move, that jerk and jive, that Bible, that word, those reds, those turns, they meant that love was just right here. As soon as you came around the corner and turned to wipe your tears, your face, your morning time wash, and cream, and hands, and breathe, and feet when they move, when they get up out of the bed, and snap, crackle, and pop remind you that you're no longer a kid. It's the love that God has given you, right? Because even Rice Krispies knew what they would do, right? Because they told us the story before we even had that bowl of cereal and that cold milk too. It's like coming down the street and Elmer Fudge is telling you chocolate, baby. I got chocolate waterfalls on the outside and all you gotta do is pick your flavor. I mean, it's almost like coming down the street in Juan Valdez and that Taster's Choice is calling you because you smell the coffee bean the trees and watching the honeybees make love to it because they got to feed the queen. They got to go and supply the queen. When really on the other side, the queen is really creating a house for them to reside in, to drive their dreams, to tell them that you can build anything that your heart dreams. What the world needs now, isn't that sweet love? To hear the wind whiskey in the air while the trees and the dew sets on the flowers out there. See, sometimes it's more than just what you see. It's the rhythm and how the trees lean and the leaves seem to cling to the ground so that they don't fly too far away because they just want to make sure they got someplace to come and lay. It's home. It's where the heart is at. It's baking. It's the morning of Thanksgiving and you smell all the good bakings like apple pie and sweet potato and pumpkin too. It's like that quiche in the morning when you come to get that breakfast with your mama and your daddy too. How many of us remember the sweet dreams that they placed down in you? Love. Because they wanted you to be just as beautiful as you look too. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. It's the only thing. It's just to love. Amen.
Thank you, Ellen.
Sorry, I got taxi.
Each week we take up an offering during our service. It's good to remind ourselves from time to time that the offering is symbolic as well as practical. We know that it is through pledges and that we are building our budget and fund our yearly programs and ministries of worship and religious education, pay for our staff and professional religious leaders, and finance the comfort and beauty of our building. If this is your first time visiting us, feel free to let the basket pass you by. Your presence is gift enough. For those who are participating online, please visit uucsjs.org and click on the yellow donate button for ways to donate. Our offering says that the act of giving is as essential to our spiritual well-being as anything else we do here on Sunday mornings. The morning offering will now be given and received in the spirit of grateful fellowship.
The musicians are going to play this song, and then we'll let you know when to sing. All right?
So Al, come on up for another. We have to keep this short because we're going over, but are you okay with us going over a tiny bit? Okay. I saw mostly yeses. For anyone whose butt hurts, just stand up and shake your head. That's what I'm going to do, actually. So we I said, Ella, do you want to do some sort of like combustion-y kind of thing? I've been dying to bring my tap shoes in here. I shouldn't say dying. I've been living to put my tap shoes on. So I don't know what we're going to do, but let me see what I can do like here.
A rhythm of tunes that speak down to the ankle so that you're all enjoying the feeling too. It's more than just music. It's soul stirring. It's apocalypse of music that turns and gives you something more than just a rhythmic burn. It tells you a story. It breaches the code of rhythms written on lines. It breaches the books. When you turn each page, you see different lines. It's a story. Telling you from one tap to another how much it just appreciates the balance. How it appreciates the colorful tunes that it's written to. That it's showing you that there's more than meets the eye and just two pairs of shoes. It's like, ooh, the blues, the rhythm and blues. It's like Marvin Gaye, Frank Sinatra. It's like sliding, skipping, bop. I'm gonna scat. It's like driving. It's like Tiger Woods on the green. Get to the ninth hole because I need you to breathe. It's like boom, hit, like move.
At this time, I'm going to introduce Heather to you for a few minutes speak, and then I have one little song after this. So please, let's give it up to Heather. And you see she's been doing this beautiful artwork, and this beautiful young lady all morning. This beautiful young lady, Cassidy, got up very early, unlike her normal, just to come here and do this. So thank you to Cassidy. Let's hear it for Heather too.
Yeah, you're Peanut. Get up here.
Yeah.
Nobody's as tall as Cynthia.
Right? How is everybody? I don't know if you could see how I got into it today with the art so much when Gina was singing, but this is what it's all about. The arts, people, being with people. I think Gina, myself, L'Oreal, we all love being with people and just doing our thing. You know, we all do things differently and have independent, passions for what we do. I definitely think from knowing these two people that being with everyone, talking with everyone, just doing your natural thing every day in and out is so important to us. And I think sharing what we love to do with you as well is just as important. Myself, I've been an artist, I would say, all my life. I grew up locally here in Edgewood Township, and I've always drawn, and I think over the years I've just dabbled in different things. I started face painting when I was asked at my children's school to kind of help because the line was so long. Today, the longing lines are still so long. So I put a sign of apologizing, saying thank you, for waiting. The enjoyment of art, I think, is what I really wanted to mention and speak about. Joy in life is an incredible, incredible thing. It doesn't always happen. It doesn't happen every day. But I think when we grab onto it, it means the world. I think that finding the passions in your life and truly keeping them at the center of all that you do is just something grand and that we need to appreciate and take a hold of. And
and most importantly, take the time to make a priority. The things that you love, and that could be anything. I have one tattoo actually on my shoulder, and the meaning is inspiration. And I can always say that inspiration is something that I am always, always seeking. Now, the two Chinese symbols, they're done in Chinese because my great-grandmother was pure Chinese. My boyfriend says it means soup. But I think it's inspiration. That's a running joke. I'm sorry. It does mean inspiration. But that inspiration is something that I'm always seeking. I think it's something that everybody is always seeking.
Yeah.
You know, it could be, you know, food. What are you going to make for dinner? It could be, what are you going to plan on doing next month? It could be, how am I going to pay this bill? But inspiration is one word that at a point in my life, and I was probably drawing or driving or something, and that word inspiration hit me. And I was like, that's it. That is something that I'm always, always seeking. And I find that personally through a lot of times, not just because it is everything to me. I find that, you know, it's something that I grab onto, it's something that I will take a picture of and save it. It's something that I will use at some point, but it's something where a starting point for me. Inspiration is something that I grab, I use that as inspiration, or I use many, many things as inspiration, and then one thing may happen. Being an artist is a blessing. It's an incredible, incredible blessing because artists see art in everything. You could drop a cat bottle and be like, oh, look at the way it laid down. You know, look at the angles. I love angles. Being an artist is also something that we do from the time that we're born. I truly believe that everybody's an artist. And that can also have many, many meanings. It doesn't mean just pen and paper, paint. An artist is somebody who's creative, who thinks out of the box. My boys, when they were growing up, my one son, when he was older, he could draw really well. And my second son always used to say to me, oh, Mom, I'm not an artist like Hayden is. And now he's an actor, and he writes, and things like that. And I don't really care. I'm not a fine artist. Everybody will come to me, can you do a portrait? I say, I can do a portrait, but it's going to be in my own style. I'm going to splash paint on it probably, I'm going to scribble on it. You know, somebody else, I can refer you to somebody else who's going to do this perfect picture, you know, this perfect picture. And it's going to look exactly like the person really looks like, but mine's going to be really colorful. And that's another thing in life. I want it to be very colorful. I love black and white. I absolutely love black and white. But I paint in many colors. But she does have black and white dots on. That's my, and as far as inspiration, that's my inspiration. Her dress that she's wearing is my inspiration today. But I like to have fun. I love to go out of the box with this idea. It's so cute.
I think it's safe to say that we're a local artist of South Jersey,
Yeah.
living in Atlantic City, a self-taught artist creating in many ways, and can be found painting on canvases, walls, or body painting. Don't you have a mural too that you were working on? And I remember seeing something about the interactive art, and you are unique, and we love you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. After the service, anyone can come and talk to Heather or to L'Oreal or Kim and any of us if you're interested in having any conversations. I'm going to forego the meditation on breathing and go straight to this. I just was looking at the wrong song. Rivers of Grace. It feels like it needs to be sung, and then we will be very close to. Come into the healing rivers Rivers of grace come into the healing rivers. Rivers of grace come into the healing rivers. Rivers of grace flowing down, down, down to my soul. Love shines in the healing rivers. Rivers of grace. Love shines in the healing rivers. Rivers of grace. Love shines in the healing rivers. Rivers of grace flowing down, down, down to my soul. Forgiveness flows. Forgiveness flows in these rivers. Rivers of grace. Forgiveness flows in these rivers. Rivers of grace. Forgiveness flows in these rivers. Rivers of grace flowing down, down, down to my soul. Come bathe in the healing rivers. Rivers of grace. Come bathe in the healing rivers. Rivers of grace. Come bathe in the healing rivers. Rivers of grace. Flowing down, down, down to my soul. Flowing down, down, down to my soul. Flowing down, down, down to my soul.
Let us read the words together for extinguishing the chalice. Extinguish this flame,
But not the light of truth,
The warmth of community or the fire of commitment.
these we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
There are a few announcements for this week. Since there are no children, if you've brought any donations for the food pantries or the animal shelters, feel free to bring them up while I'm reading the announcements. If you know where the plans are for the UUC SJS building are located, or you know where the second walkie-talkie is,
We found them.
you got them? Okay.
Yeah,
All right,
thanks.
well, disregard that. We are pleased to reignite the collection of donated new and gently used clothes of all sizes. Footwear too. Your donations will be transported to the Eastern Service Workers Association and never sold. Place your clean contributions in the brown bin in the foyer under the social justice table to the left. The UUC Board of Trustees will meet this Thursday at 7 in person and on Zoom. All are welcome to attend the meeting. Join us next Sunday for Reverend Kim D. Wilson. A lifelong UU, Reverend Kim was ordained in 2001, and she served with the UU congregation in Madison, Connecticut for 6 years. She recently retired after serving the UU Fellowship of the Poconos in Strasbourg for the past decade. The title of her sermon will be, "We Are All Wounded War Healers." We don't get to live life without experiencing any pain. It's part of the human condition. Henri Nouren, author of the little book called Wounded Healers, suggests that by finding and addressing the suffering in our own hearts, we become better able to help others to heal their hurts. In this way, we can all become wounded healers. We warmly welcome all our visitors who are visiting us today. Now let's share in a moment of silent reflection to consider today's message and the meaning we have in our lives.
It's just incredible.